Welcome to Agenda Edina, a program summarizing the actions taken in City Hall that affect you most. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty. Though development of a lid over Minnesota Highway 100 might have great benefit in the future, the Edina Housing and Redevelopment Authority, or HRA, made clear last month that development of the Grandview Green is not an immediate priority and directed staff not to spend any more money on the concept. The HRA conducted a preliminary concept study of the feasibility of constructing a lid dubbed the Grandview Green over a limited portion of Highway 100 in the Grandview District. The conceptual studies conducted suggest that additional public green space could be created and unused Minnesota Department of Transportation highway right-of-way could be transformed into productive uses without hindering regional transportation needs. The 2016 Grandview Transportation Study characterized the concept of a lid in the Grandview District as a far-term plan, occurring as much as 30 years in the future. Also, that it could not happen before improvements to current transit systems and transportation-related technologies occur. Pursuing a concept like a lid will require the coordination of several governmental agencies and the support of the local community.
I know there's been some confusion in the community about whether we're building this in 2019 or 2020 or 2021. I want to make it crystal clear to folks that our intent is that this be considered off in the future, not in the current next couple of years.
The HRA approved a statement for inclusion in the city's updated comprehensive plan that reads in part, although the city's long-term planning should continue to consider this Grandview Green concept as one potential means of improving the Grandview Commercial District at some point in the future, it is not a part of near or midterm changes envisioned for this district. Commissioners also directed staff to suspend further expenditures on the concept, including funds to engage consultants to advocate for changes in state law to facilitate financing and negotiate lease language with MnDOT. The city has established a new 1-acre, 15-year tax increment financing, or TIF district, to support a redevelopment at the intersection of Sunnyside Road and France Avenue. Orion Investments plans to redevelop the site of the former Edina Cleaners and Launderers to single-family homes and a surface parking lot. Those structures would be replaced with a mixed-use development of 46 luxury apartments, 7,000 square feet of restaurant and retail space, and parking below and at grade. The City Council in early October granted preliminary rezoning and development plan approval for the project. TIF is one of the financial tools available to the city to encourage new investment in a way that enhances the property tax base and achieves other community goals. TIF uses new property taxes, or incremental taxes, that are generated by a new project to pay for some of the costs associated with it. The existing tax base continues to be distributed to the school district, city, county, and other taxing agencies.
Since the economic recovery in 2011, there's been over 50 major redevelopment projects in Edina. We've used TIF on only 5 of those projects. So it's used pretty sparingly in Edina, but when it makes sense to achieve public benefits, public amenities, it makes a lot of sense to use tax increment financing.
The public will benefit from the TIF district with approximately 40 new public parking stalls, buried overhead utility lines, a new outdoor public space with art, and an improved streetscape, among other things. Pet owners who wish to let their dogs off leash are reminded to use the fenced-in dog park at Van Valkenburg Park. That is the only year-round park area in Edina where people can legally let their dogs off leash.
So the majority of the complaints we get in the Parks Department are related to dogs that are off leash and they rush up on other park users. So the complaints come from other park users. They're out trying to enjoy the park, and if your dog's off leash and uncontrolled, it scares people.
To address these problems, the city is launching an education and enforcement campaign. Off-leash dogs in parks and open public spaces present a number of problems, including disturbing wildlife and jumping on people. Leash dogs often feel threatened by a dog running loose, which could lead to a fight. Even if a dog is obedient and responds to commands, it must be on a leash no more than 10 feet long. The leash must also be under a person's control. Letting the dog run loose with the leash attached to its collar is still a violation. Parks and Recreation and Animal Control staff members will talk to violators to remind them of the law. Those wishing to keep dogs off leash will be directed to Van Valkenburg Park and, in warmer months, the ice rink area at Strachauer Park. Off-leash collars available to residents for $25 a year are required on dogs using those areas. Animal Control has the option to issue violation citations that add up to $128 for having a dog off-leash. The city will host the 2018 Urban Vision Symposium, Economic Development 101, November 8th. Real estate and economic development consultants, HR&A advisors will lead a workshop to review economic development and growth trends. The Urban Vision Symposium is held annually to provide an educational event for Edina residents to learn about urban and economic development trends. The symposium cultivates a community conversation around urban development. Edina is experiencing a significant amount of redevelopment, and city leadership hopes to develop a community consciousness around the topic.
This is a presentation of tools that are available for cities, for developers, and for residents as civic advocates for development. And it puts that into a picture that people can understand from maybe a little bit further of a perspective out of comparing maybe Edina to other neighboring cities and other peer cities and what's happening with their development. Taking our city and understanding how does our population affect that, how does our density affect that, and it really gives that overall perspective to put it in that broader picture.
The event is free and open to the public with reservations recommended. To sign up to attend, call the city's administration department at 952-826-0429. Thank you for watching this episode of Agenda Edina. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty.